Hey everybody, it's Jim Johnson here, the head coach at Contractor Coach Pro and your host with Contractor Radio. And I am super excited about our episode today. We're going to be talking about obstacles. And obstacles are those things that get in our way that if we don't have the right amount of drive to get past them, we tend to get frustrated and end up doing what the worst possible thing is quitting. And so we're going to talk with somebody today, our special guest, who has dealt with all kinds of obstacles and continues to come out on top. And it's super exciting to bring this person on because I got to meet her whenever she first started with the company that we coached. I've got to see her grow over time and accomplish the things that she's accomplished. And I think her story is going to be impactful on everybody out there. But I want to give a little tip for whenever you're dealing with obstacles. Don't look at them as a negative thing. Turn them into positive. Really challenge yourself that every time something gets in your way, this is an opportunity for you to grow. It's an opportunity for you to maybe approach things differently, to think through a puzzle, to solve a problem. And it's a challenge that's going to help you become not only better at what you do, but possibly even a better person. And so when you change that perspective on how you look at these obstacles that get in our way, you have this opportunity to grow and put yourself into this growth mindset that can change a person's life if they really want something bad enough. And that's what it comes down to. How bad do you want the thing that you're after? Because if you want it bad enough, you'll find a way to jump over, climb over, dig under, go around, break through, whatever it takes to get through those obstacles. And so today, we're going to bring on a really special guest to me. She's really near and dear to my heart, probably more than she really realizes sometimes, because she's been very supportive of us, and her growth has been amazing. Anna, she is the office manager with United Contractors in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Welcome to the show, Anna.
Hi, Jim. Thank you. Thank you. And there was some great words that you just said about the obstacles.
Oh, yeah.
And thank you for having me here today. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I am pumped. It's one of those things. I've been watching you as you've grown in this industry. You kind of came on as an administrator first, and you got really good at that. You started to tackle things, take on projects, do things that were not above and beyond what you were asked to do. You became office manager. And you even got into some sales this year, and I'm excited to talk to you about that part too. But before we get there, can you give us a little background? Like we talked earlier, you're Russian, you're from Moscow. Like, what brought you to the U.S. and how did you get here, and how long ago?
So yes, I am from Moscow, Russia, and I was living there for like 20 years. And I was always like dreaming to live, somewhere by the ocean, like warm, because as you probably know, it's like very cold in Moscow. So when I was 17 and I was deciding on the university, so I saw this opportunity to go to study hotel business, and I was thinking that will be interesting because I will get a chance to travel more. So that's why I just, I started that. I didn't have any other reason, but just only the opportunity to travel, because I was always thinking, I have to get out.
Yeah. So was it that you wanted to get away from Moscow so much, or was it more that you wanted to travel, be close to the ocean, that type of thing?
So I wanted to travel, but I always had an idea in my head that this place is great. I love my country, but it's just not for me. I just don't belong there. I just feel like it's just the Moscow is very big city, and it was just too much for me. So I wanted to travel, and I was traveling from like 10 years old. I went to Africa, I went to Europe. So I was traveling different places. I had the chance to live in Turkey for like 8 months, and I was excited to see the other continent, which was America. And that's how I found my way to just get here first, and I liked it.
So university, you came over here. Did you go to school here?
No, I didn't. I just came here. It was like program for students.
Mhm.
So they send me like from my university just to see and practice the language and just to see how it is, somewhere else. So but I never went to study here.
So almost like an internship, come over
Yes.
and actually like do the job, do the work, see what it's all about, and make sure it's the path you want to follow.
Right.
So I think it's interesting that you have that kind of hotel industry background, and a little bit of the focus of United Contractors is this royal treatment thing. Like you really want to like roll the red carpet out for somebody each time that you do work with them. We worked on that as getting your system set up. So I think that's kind of a neat like transition over. Did you have any impact on that at all?
So I had a chance and opportunity to work in the hotel actually when I was studying. So I was studying night times, like evening times, just so I could work in the morning. And I really just wanted to get some experience. And I was working that was in Moscow. So I was working in the Marriott Hotel, which is the biggest chain in the world. And I loved it so much because they took care of employees, and I had an opportunity to meet people from all over the world. And at that time, I'd never been to America. So I just met Americans there. I talked to them and they were so happy all the time. That's also was the reason why I wanted to come here, because I loved, they were so, how to say it, patriotic, they liked their country and they were always so excited about it.
Just a little bit. Yeah, we tend to be a little patriotic. That's super cool. And Marriott, one of their things is just almost overboard on service. I'm a Marriott Rewards member.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got like this platinum level status now. So anytime I walk in, they're like, "Oh, Mr. Johnson," and they're like, I understand you want to be on the top floor, and I know that you like this with your pillows." And they really go overboard in that treatment. And you guys kind of do the same thing with your contracting business there, right?
Yeah, we when I started to work here, I had this experience, of how it was in Marriott. Like you said, they had a database on everyone, like I wasn't working on the front desk, so I knew who is coming to check in like 3 hours before you arrive, and I already knew, that you come in, what you like, what kind of tea you drink. So we had the whole database. And when I started to work here, I had so much experience that, I was telling to Ronald, he's the owner, I was telling him about it, and we implemented some things from that.
Yeah, it's really cool, like how you guys wanted this just uber customer service feel to what you do. And it turned out really, really well. I think it's been one of our most proud times of working with a client is seeing that thing, because other people might go, "That's like way overboard, way hokey, and way, but it's real for you guys. It's something you actually truly believe in, and I think your customers see that impact." Before we get into some of the obstacles you've dealt with, what's your greatest achievement to date that doesn't include family stuff? That's easy. So, greatest achievement to date.
That would be simple answer. It's just, I'm really proud of just what I achieved, like just to move here all by myself. Like I was just by myself. Family was, I'm not talking about family, but they didn't support me really. So they were there and I just did it by myself. I had $1,000 in my pocket and I just did it. I wasn't afraid. And, I knew that I was believing that something great is there. So I just like did it, I wasn't afraid. I was just like, just walking there. So I'm really proud of that.
Don't ever lose that. It is something that the younger we are, the less afraid we are to take risk and jump off the deep end diving board and all that other good stuff that you hear. Keep that, remember that, and focus on that, because it's what ends up bringing opportunity to us. And I think the more that people don't focus on the fear and they focus on, hey, the opportunity of things, it tends to work out pretty well for them. So you come over, your hotel industry. How did you get into this whole? I mean, who tricked you into this whole contracting thing? No, just kidding.
It was yeah, it was someone great did it. So I met Ronald, and we just started to talk, and he's the owner of this company. So he introduced me to this, just step by step. So I was telling him about my experience, what I did before. I was telling him all the stories about my hotel, how I had to wake up like 4 a.m, go drive 2 hours to get there, and it was like -5 degrees outside. And I was telling him about it, and he told me only after that, that he felt like I could be helpful, like he felt like I'm a hardworking person, and he started to give me some tasks, just to see what is it, what I am capable of, basically. At that time, my English was not on this level, definitely. So I was having some hard times, but I wanted to, it was a challenge, and I like challenges. So there was a challenge that I wanted to, do. So I Googled a lot of things. I did a lot of researches, YouTube, and he was giving me tasks, and I was just thinking, how can I accomplish them? And
It's one of those things I've noticed about you. Like, if somebody gives you a task, you don't need a lot of instruction on it. You will go and do the research and find the answers that you need, and do a lot of problem solving on your own. While you will take some input, of course, but you have this ability to go, okay, there's the problem, there's the challenge. How am I going to solve that and not have to rely on everybody else? And you mentioned it earlier, like being very willing to hop off on your own. Like, you didn't need family, you did all this. Your greatest achievement is to do all of this on your own. I think that has a lot to do with why you're able to overcome these obstacles. What was been the most difficult thing that you had to get figured out to be in this contracting world of ours?
the most difficult, I just didn't know anything really, like it was like I was studying hotel business, I was working in a hotel, and here's roofing, I couldn't even say the word roofing. I still can't pronounce it. People sometimes ask me what. So, but at that time, I didn't know what is the ridge, what is the eave, what is the rake, what is, I didn't know anything about it. And more to that, I didn't even know in Russian language, what is it, because I never studied roofs, like at all. So everything was new. But the biggest thing, I think, was language. The language was the very hard obstacle for me. So my problem was I couldn't talk on the phone. So Ronald told me, he was giving me tasks, and one of the tasks was like to call someone. And I realized I'm very afraid to call someone, because because we live in South Carolina and people talk with accent here. So I called someone and I didn't understand anything, but I did it on the balcony somewhere, so he couldn't hear me. I didn't want to show him that I couldn't do it. And I just told him, he didn't pick up the phone, so I left a voicemail. At the time, I didn't even know what is the voicemail and how to leave it. So it was a lot of obstacles like this, transferring from my culture and to how to do things here.
Well, you're obviously much better with the language now. What'd you do to get better? Was there any kind of tools that you used, or is it just complete immersion and you're here in the U.S., you have to figure it out? What was it that solved that?
So I was studying English for a long time, for 10 years. It was the second language in my school, mm-hmm. But they teach us just basics. So when I came here, I was thinking, I can speak a lot, but in reality, it was just I couldn't understand what people say, especially in South Carolina, like I said. And I really watched a lot of videos, movies, just to see how people talk. And I just watched their mouth, how it moves. And I read books, and just honestly, also the big thing for me was to find a lot of American people that I start to talk every day. and not being able to talk in Russian language, because at that point I didn't have any Russian friends here, so I just spoke to my family on the phone. That was all. 90% of the time I had to speak in English, so that was
Yeah, and Ron's he's Colombian, so there's some Spanish involved there too. So are you picking any of that up while you're over here?
I started to learn Spanish when the quarantine started, but I can understand just a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, I took Spanish. I took Spanish all through school, and much like you, they kind of teach the basics, and when you think, man, I really kind of know this, and go to Mexico or Costa Rica or wherever, and you're like, I don't know anything. I can understand what people are saying for the most part, but for me to communicate with them is a whole.
Right.
Is that kind of how it felt to you?
Yeah, it's the hardest thing is to talk, because you think you're gonna sound stupid, you think nobody will understand you, and that's what I was thinking that time. I was thinking my accent is different, and people will not understand what I'm trying to say. But now what changed since 3 years ago, that I realized that if I'm knowledgeable of what I want to say and I can explain it, it doesn't matter, if the grammar is not going to be on point, or the words will be a bit different. The idea is to explain what I want to explain, and I feel confident that I can do it now.
Yeah, you're doing an amazing job right here. You're doing a great job of communicating. I know that was a little bit of your worry whenever we first started to do this podcast. I'm like, nah, don't you? You're going to do great. So, other obstacles. Uh, you're a young lady. You're a woman in a man's world traditionally. Has that gotten in the way at all? I know you've started selling. I know you deal with homeowners on the phone. Do they take you seriously? And if not, what do you do about that?
So that's a great question. I like it. So the first thing is I'm a woman, and when I started, I was 21 years old. Now I'm 25, which is still, I'm almost the youngest in the company. So yes, it was. I had some problems with me thinking that, first of all, my colleagues, they will not take me seriously, and I even had to talk to Ronald about it at some point. I was worried about it, but with experience, I stopped thinking about it. Like it just went away, because now I'm more confident that I know the information, and I don't feel like how to explain that. I just don't see that being an obstacle, basically. As far as homeowners, I just feel like if you know what you're talking about and you're confident and you like the product that you're trying to sell, being a woman and being a man, or being like whatever, it will never be an obstacle. That's what I think. But I did think about it 3 years ago, definitely.
So you said two words quite a bit that I noticed. One is experience. And so you had to go through a lot to gain this experience, a lot more than most of us have to go through. And so there's a lot of persistence, and you really stuck with it. The other one is confidence, that with experience comes confidence. But you strike me as a pretty confident person just naturally. Is that fair to say?
I'm, sometimes I'm not confident, but I will never show you that. Yeah, I just understand that you have to be confident even if you don't feel confident, because people around you, they feel what you feel. And me being like a manager, even if I feel very unconfident, I can never show it to people. So
that is fantastic. So it's half the battle. Even if you feel like maybe I don't know everything I need to know, or I have all the content I need to have, as long as you give an example that you're confident, other people will feel confident in you. That's really insightful. It takes a lot of time for some people to learn that. Like that's the thing that it takes. They feel like they got to get all this experience for all these years before they can actually get confident. Where it's actually the other way around. If you go with confidence first, you.
It came from the hotel experience, because the first thing they teach you there, so basically this is the way they teach you. You stay there on the front desk, right? And you see, let's say I'm staying there and you come in, I see you coming, and I have it in my head that why you coming to the front desk? You have a problem. Why people would come to the front desk if they're not checking in? They have a problem, right? Either it's a bad pillow, bad neighbors, bad smell, whatever problem. I had to deal with crazy problems. Like every day was something new, every day. And they taught us, never say I don't know. Then this is what will be forever in my head. Like even if you don't know, you just have to figure this out. Like if you tell me something and I don't know, I know there's somewhere I can find out. So my point is that you always have to try to help people, and be like, even if you don't know, you just have to say, like, okay, let me find out. And that's how I put, like you feel taken care of, and that's what we teach people right now in our company. If someone calls and screaming and saying something crazy, like just relax. Every problem has a solution. So that's what we should have in our heads.
That is amazing. Yeah, exactly. Every problem does have a solution. Even if I don't know that solution in my head, I have the resources to go find that answer. And that's the big thing. You said, we're here to help people. And when we approach it with that perspective that we're here to help, no matter what your problem is or what the solution is that you need, whether it's me or somebody else, I'm going to give you the best advice I possibly can to help you get to where you want to be. That's really good. So you're pretty at 25. Like, wow, 25. I can't even remember.
5 months ago.
I still hadn't even gotten into the contracting industry yet. I was in something else at the time I was 25. So being only that you're 25, you've probably had some mentors in your life, I would guess. Some people at Marriott, Ron there at the company, parents, family. What's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten from a mentor or coach or somebody you just respected?
So honestly, I think I had 2 mentors by this time in my life. I had 2 mentors in my life, and the first one was my father. He was teaching me from like 5 years old. He was telling me that something that is very important, very simple, but a lot of people just tend to forget about it, that everything that you can imagine is possible, and I still believe in this. That's why I'm here, that's why I do things, because I just simply believe that everything I can visualize in my head, of course, if it's not pink elephant, but I don't want to visualize that, but if you talk real, everything is real and it's possible, and whatever you think, you attract. Those 2 things are, those are very important things that I still believe, and I think that's very important for me. And the second mentor when I came here, I think it was Ronald, definitely. He taught me a lot because he's very smart and spiritual person. So, and the biggest thing he taught me, it was a lot, but the biggest thing I would say, it was just, you got to be in the moment, just right here and right now. That's what helps me when I have a problem, or something. First, I just breathe, because right here, right now, there's no problem. The problem already happened, so now I have to figure out what happened. But to be in the moment, that what just came from him, and that's very simple again, but very important.
I couldn't agree more on both of those. Everything is possible. I try not to put limits on myself, and I try to coach people the same thing. So great advice from your dad. I wish I would have gotten that advice as a young. I don't know. I was naturally wired that way, that I think I can do anything, and so that helps us get past these obstacles. And living in the moment is so hard for people. It really is. It's a really hard thing because we're always thinking about what's coming, right? What's going to happen because of this problem, all the bad things that can happen, all those negative thoughts get into our mind. We start thinking about everything that's on our task list and this overwhelming feeling of all this stuff that we've got to get. But if we're in the moment, it's that one thing right then, right there. You solve that thing and then move on to the next one. That's really very wise words for somebody that's only 25 years old. Well done. Let's talk sales. That wasn't something that was on the game plan, I don't think, whenever you first got started. But if I understand things correctly, you started selling this year. What made that happen? How did you get involved in that?
So it all started actually 2 years ago. 2 years ago, so every month I take my notebook and I put the goals. And for some reasons, I just decided to put a goal that I want to sell $9,000. I want to actually sell. I don't know why I took this 9,000, but because I never sold a roof before. Like I never sold like something, like that before. And actually I did it, I did sell like a $10,000 roof. And I was thinking in my head the same thing, like if I could put 9,000 and I did it, why didn't I put 90,000 or something like that, right? So 2 years ago, I just started to sell just, sometimes. I don't know why. I don't remember why it exactly happened and how, but it just happened. But it was not a lot. But this year I decided that, I want to just sell more. I just wanted to see if I can do it, honestly. And so I just end up selling the most, from all the company this year.
Oh, did you just say you were top salesman for the company this year? Salesperson, sorry, salesperson.
This year, yes.
Wow. So what can I ask? How much?
Yeah, it was. No, actually, no. My.
Okay. No, that's okay. Like we'll keep that to ourselves. I'm gonna guess it was a pretty big number, because we don't share it. Ron doesn't want everybody in the country calling Anna to try and recruit. I get it. So that's awesome. Like 2 years ago, kind of dabbling in it, just felt like it was a challenge and wanted to do something with it. And then here this last year, you went, hey, I'm going to kind of press the gas a little bit. And so there had to be a lot of obstacles there, right? You're talking to customers, learning sales process, solving problems. How did you get all that stuff for you?
So as far as obstacles, like as far as homeowners, it was like you said earlier. I was thinking, did they take me seriously? Some girl from not even from America coming to my house, trying to sell me something. But I had my confidence that, again, that if I know what I'm talking about, people will believe me. And if I really like what I'm saying, that, they will believe me. That's why the obstacle became, not really an obstacle. So that was, that's how I felt about that part. What was it, the second question?
So the second part of it was like, there's kind of a process to sales. It's something that is a skill you learn. That there's a warm up. There's creating the problem and solution, providing options, and then actually closing people and asking for the sale. Just kind of in brevity, where did you learn that type of information, and do you follow some type of format?
So 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, Ronald, he found this great coach, and he bought the training, right? And he had the sessions, personal sessions, and I was there behind the laptop, just listening and making notes. And we got all this system. The system is perfect, honestly. The system that you taught us is like perfect. And the person who taught me sales, it was Ronald. Actually, he is a really, really, really great salesperson. I had an opportunity to be with him a couple times on his sales, and I saw how he does it, how he's confident about what he's talking about. And I just realized that if you have the right tools and the right knowledge, you can basically just do it. That's how I felt. I had everything, you know. I had the secret recipe. I had the tools. I have I don't want to share it with everybody, but you know what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
everything, and you just need to add that confidence and be focused and do it all over again, and I believe that's how you do it.
Did you practice a little bit before you went out the first time?
Oh yeah, we role play a lot at the office. You know, we role play every day, and actually right now we are training a new um, salesperson, and I was training him a little bit, and I just saw him doing that. You know, and I feel so proud that right now I can pass my knowledge to someone else.
That's super cool. That is, it gives me goosebumps to even think about that. Like, you got some knowledge from Ron helping you. Ron is, you're right, he is a great salesperson. He's also a great owner. He sees potential. He really works hard to build people, and I think that's really cool. And then to pass that knowledge along to somebody else, that's super cool. Anna, this has been an amazing interview today. I don't know if you know how amazing it really is, but because there's a lot of people out there, they let things get in their way, and I think they have far less obstacles than you do. A lot of them are guys. A lot of them are born here in America. A lot of them have the communication skills. A lot of them have the sales training and background. A lot of them have the knowledge of the industry, but they just don't open the door. They don't get out of their vehicle. They don't create the activity. And that obstacle is in their head more than it is anywhere else. And so to see you do what you've done, I hope it inspires others that are watching this to go, you know what? If she has all those obstacles in her way and she's willing to go fight tooth and nail, claw her way through, and be persistent by really just saying, I got to get the experience and I got to get the confidence. Anybody really and truthfully can do this. Do you suggest other young ladies to get into this whole roofing and construction world?
So this is my next. This is not my next, but current task. So I started to do more social media, like you maybe noticed. So, and the reason why is just because I wanna share with not only the girls, but more people like my age and other people, and probably mostly the girls, that this is a cool place to be, because a lot of people, they don't think about, especially like a woman, like young woman, they will, probably will not think about going to work for the roofing company. But I truly believe that this is a great opportunity, and you can make a lot of money, and you can, just this is a great place to be. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just showing my own experience in social media, and actually had a lot of people already reaching out to me, just asking questions. They're curious, because people usually don't think about this, and that this is my goal, just to share with the world that it is a great opportunity right here.
Well, you're absolutely an inspiration to those young people out there, because I see so many people graduating from college and they don't have jobs. They're struggling. Then you throw this pandemic thing on top of it, and we are fortunately a business that's a required business. Essential is the word they use, and so there's opportunity here. And I think the young people out there that at least get curious and start to see what it's all about, I think there's a lot of potential for them. And you are going to be one of those people that I think inspire a lot of them to do so. Last question. We've been on a little bit longer than I promised, but I want to make sure that I get this question in. And you may not have even thought about this yet. A lot of the people I interview are older than you are, but at some point we all go, right? Like there's an end for this time on our planet. And whenever I go, I want people to think certain things about me. I want to leave this legacy behind. What do you want people to think about you when that day does come? What kind of impact do you want to have? Maybe legacy that you leave behind.
That was one of the questions that you told me. I will not be prepared. That's a good question. So I would like to. I thought about it, to be honest with you. I saw like, I like the history. I read a lot of books and I saw all these people's names, in the history. And I was thinking one day, do I want people, like, let's say in 200 years, they open the history book and there's my name, because I did something. And I thought about it and I wasn't sure, to be honest with you. I wasn't like 100% sure, but definitely I would like to do some good things, just like I want to become a billionaire, but I want to share this with the world, probably just do just some good things, charities. And I don't have the like I don't want my statue to be somewhere, probably not, but just to be like, when people would think about me, they would think something good.
Yeah, it sounds like you want people to think about you as being generous,
Yeah,
that you were giving. And that's a cool legacy to leave behind. I think it's something that is really needed in our world right now. Is this attitude of generosity. My wife and I, you've met my wife. We were talking the other day, and we were talking about the differences and the division and the stuff that we have going on in our world today. And I had my own opinions, and her opinion was that there are givers and there are takers, and the takers tend to be on one side. It tends to be pretty heavy that way right now, and then there's the givers on the other side. And so you seem like a giver to me, and I think that's a good thing. So congratulations. You're doing
have a
great.
lot.
You're doing
I
a
have a
great
lot.
job.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's hard. It's hard to like to do that. Because a lot of people think I will do charity when I will become rich, for example. But when is it? When exactly? Why can you just donate $3 today? What's stopping you? Where is this point? So it's just really something that to think about. But it's just, I think that's what I want to do, and I
So
hope.
a little note about that. I was not that type of person for a very, very long time in my life. I was, I don't know, greedy, and I was trying to get all the money I could get and all the others. And things changed for me, and what that change was starting to serve and give, and it started small. Just if somebody asked, I did. And if somebody asked me for $5, or if they asked me for $1, I would, whatever I've got, I'm going to give. And I didn't have a lot of money at the time, but I gave whatever I had, and it's been amazing. It has absolutely been amazing that each time I give, it's like it comes back to me, which allows me to give more the next time and more the next time, and we've really gotten into a position where we can do some pretty cool things, and I hope that continues because I have some pretty big things I'm after. So it looks like we're on the same page there of being
Right.
generous. So maybe
United, in United, like Ronald's, idea is we do a lot of charities, like the company does. We donate a lot of money, like every month almost. We just choose an event and we just donate some kind of money, and it's always different, like churches or like cancer societies, some local events. So that's what we do.
Yeah, and even for, if you're thinking about being generous, those of you out there that are listening and watching today, um, you don't have to give money, time, expertise, talent. Go work feeding the hungry for a day. It'll open your eyes to what is going on out there in other people's worlds, and it gives you some grounding. It gives you that being in the moment thing that you were talking about earlier. So. Anna, thank you so much for being on today. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed yourself. And if somebody wants to, one of these young people that are listening or watching or anything, how do they find you on Facebook or Instagram? I think you're more of an Instagram person most of the time, right? How would they find you?
Yeah, I'm more on Instagram, Facebook as well, but more on Instagram. I can type it somewhere, but I don't know where.
Actually, if you let's see here. We'll go to comment. Oh, there's a comment. With somebody that says Anna rocks on here. That we have a comment. If you give it to me, I'll type it in. What is it?
So it's Anna, ANNA, _ ANY AAA.
AAA?
Yeah.
All right. And that's your Instagram handle. So I'm going to put that into the chat message there. It went out on all our social media feeds and YouTube and everything. So if somebody wants to follow you, that's how they'll find you. Anna, thanks a lot for being on today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim. It was great experience. Like I told you, it was my first interview and it was great.
Well, I'm glad to be and honored to be your first person to invite you on a show. I think you'll get on quite a few more as time goes on here. I see big things in your future.
Yeah, I'm honored to be here.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right, so that was Anna from United Contractors. Boy, what a bunch of obstacles. Young, new to a country, language barriers, knowledge barriers, female versus male barriers in an industry, so many obstacles, but just so much persistence, so much drive. And a lot of that just comes from mindset, having this mindset that nothing's going to take me down and that I can do this no matter how hard I have to work. And she has certainly put in the work to achieve the things that she's achieved. It's just cool. I think it's a great story. I think it's a great understanding that there's this ability in all of us if we just tap into it. In summary, I think she had a couple of really important things that she shared there. Being in the moment. Don't get caught up with all that other stuff. Remove all the distractions from your world. Stop thinking about all the negative stuff that can happen and worry about what will happen right now. You'll find that those problems will go away. You'll solve them quicker. It's when we crawl in our shell or we don't want to take on confrontation that fear gets a hold of us, and fear is what keeps us from overcoming obstacles. So we hope you got something out of this today. We hope you found it helpful. Pass it along to your friends, pass it along to other people that you see that are struggling out there with the obstacles in their way, because I believe Anna is a great inspiration to all of us to stick with it. So that's Contractor Radio for today. Thanks for following us. If you want to find out more about how we help contractors, check us out at contractorcoachpro.com. Click on the free assessment button, get your business assessed, and we'll set up a free coaching call with you and help you right then and there that day so you can kind of see what a coaching call is all about. Thanks for tuning in to Contractor Radio, and we will see you next week.